Good morning and happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to this week's Breakfast with Boom. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStickXL. And on today's show, I put together a ton of incredible topics for you to enjoy, but the amazing panel of people is even more impressive. Let's get right into introductions. First up is the person responsible for bringing the beauty and the charm to each and every episode of the Game Dosage podcast. My very good friend, Primal Eve, thank you for appearing again. How are you doing?
Thank you. For a second, I thought you were talking about Glitcher.
Nobody would say that about me.
I'm doing great this morning. I'm excited to be back on the show, and you have some great topics for us to talk about.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Next up, of course, because you just mentioned his name, is the showrunner of the Game Dosage podcast and a very good friend of the show. Of course, that is Attack the Glitcher. Hey, dude, this was a last-minute addition, a very well welcomed addition. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Just taking a break from everyday life because, life can kick y'all in the balls. So y'all treasure that, because life happens and you got to be ready for everything. So, but I'm just happy to be a part of today's show. I'm ready to rock this motherfucker. Let's do it.
I appreciate that. And certainly not to be outdone is the showrunner of the Micropod show, but he also claims to be stalked by several members of that podcast. That is Microbox. Yes. What's up, dude? How's everything?
They do stalk me. If they're not in the podcast I'm in, they're on the chat. I'm sure Andy Mack will at some point turn up in a bloody chat today.
He said he was going to be there.
Yeah, he said he was going to troll me. That was the first thing he said when he heard I was on the show. Right, I'll be trolling you in the chat. Yeah, it's great. It's great to be on a podcast that's not in Europe at a good time. It's 3:00 in the afternoon here. It's fantastic.
Perfect. Nice.
I can't thank you enough for inviting me on. I've watched Welsh Gamer on here so many times thinking, I want a bit of that. Why can't I be on Boom's podcast? And here I am. So, no, it's fantastic to be on and to have my friend D-Rock in there as well. It's fantastic.
Well, yes. Well, I appreciate you being here. It's greatly appreciated. Last but certainly not least, he is someone that I met for the first time on last week's Dragon X podcast. And to be completely honest, he really has an interesting way at looking at the current gaming scope. That, of course, is E-Rock X. Hey, dude, thanks so much for showing up today.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. This is E-Rock X, the Don King of Xbox, the hype man for the Xbox brand, and the meanest man on Twitter. And I'm glad to be here. I got to tell you guys, when I first heard I was selected for Breakfast with Boom, I said, oh, no, that's that podcast from Uzbekistan. But yet now that I know that you're all American, I'm good to go, man. I'm happy. I feel safe. I'm ready to talk about these topics.
Well, listen, I'm glad you feel safe. This is a safe space for everybody, especially if you're in the chat. We like a nice, peaceful, well-handled chat. And I'm going to get to those guys in a minute. But you know what? Let's get into our topics. First of all, obviously, we talked pre-game that it's going to be 100 degrees in New York today. And it's actually going to be 100 for the next 5 days, which absolutely is horrendous. But what does that mean? That means that it's summertime, and the new game releases have pretty much come to a screeching halt, except for a few. And this is, in my opinion, a great time to jump into every one of us on this panel has a backlog 50 games deep. There's no doubt about it.
It's the rest.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. It's a good problem to have. It would be a problem that if nothing was coming out and you had no games to play, then that life would suck. But that's not, in fact, the case. So what I'm going to do is I kind of just want to go to each panel member, and I had sent a message prior to us going live. What 3 games do you have in your backlog that you definitely are going to get to this summer? I'll start with Eve. What stands at the top of your? Oh, it's almost like an embarrassment list. Like, oh my God, I've never played that. I'm so sorry.
Right. Well, see, after I read this about the topic, I was like, shit, because this is what I do every day anyway. I sit in the library and I'm like, what the hell am I going to play? And next thing you know, it's 2 hours later and I wasted my game time. Nier, I just picked up Nier, so nice. I want to get through that.
One. Yes.
And then I have like a couple hundred other games that are just like play me, and then I'm like, all right, I'll go play Gears. So I have to do Dying Light to get ready for Dying Light.
Yes.
And then There's so many, Boom. It's ridiculous. I have Ori that I have to go through because I haven't even played that. I feel like I'm the last person in the world to play it, and there's too much. There really is too much. This summer is going to be full, but I highly doubt my backlog will be finished.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you can get through like even between 3 and 5 games, I think that's a big W, in my opinion. E-Rock, I'm going to go to you, brother. What games are on your backlog that are like not so much embarrassing, but you have to get to this summer before the fall?
Well, I mean, there's so many games. The backlog here on my Xbox is ridiculous. Crash Bandicoot, the Insane Trilogy,
Nice.
just unlocked. So I've been looking forward to that because I'm a huge Crash Bandicoot fan. I still haven't finished Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. That's on the backlog. And right now, as I'm looking through this, I just purchased, I can't even pronounce it. It looks like it's Japanese. It's called Okami HD.
Oh, that's a great one. It's a Capcom
yeah,
title.
that's
Gorgeous.
Yeah,
gorgeous
that
game.
was in the Xbox store. Sea of Thieves, which I've already told you guys, I profess my love for Sea of Thieves. That is already my game of the year for 2018. It's had a bunch of updates. I haven't been able to get back on it. I mean, State of Decay. I just purchased a game called The Journey Down, which comes in 3 chapters. Tekken 7 was on sale for $30 in the Xbox store. It's just, I'm overloaded, brother. I don't have a time in my life to play all these games, but on the top of my list is Crash Bandicoot and Okami.
Okay, well, listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. Okami is gorgeous to look at.
Oh.
I actually wound up picking that up last fall. I think I paid like $10 for it or something. It's worth your time. It's really a great Capcom game. Attack the Glitcher. I'm going to go to you, my brother. What do you have? Obviously life gets in the way, so it may not be as easy for you because you got some things going on, which obviously take precedent. But what do you want to get to this summer before the fall madness starts?
Like before we went live when we were pre-gaming it, man, I told you I just hopped back into the Division, so I'm going to be working on that some more. I really want to get my hands on the Xbox One version of Nier Automata, but life happens. So if somebody wants the game gifted to me, I'd like to try that one out.
101.
Mooching 101. Figured I'd give it a shot. Why not? But one game I really want to try, and it dropped about a month ago, Agony. And the game
yes, I heard about that.
The game is so busted up right now, man, and they are taking forever to get the patch out there. I mean, I get, things happen and stuff like that, and they're waiting for Microsoft to give the okay because there was a couple of bugs that they discovered when it was running on the X and all that. So, but they said they finally got the patch. They sent it out to Xbox, so I'm waiting for them to drop that. Definitely want to start jamming on that because for the couple of minutes I did play it while it was working all right, it seems really cool. So I actually want to get rolling on that.
Is that kind of like Dark Souls-ish?
I want to say take Resident Evil 7 and just straight up Resident Evil 7 and Doom, pretty much. So you're in hell and all that. I'm gonna try to obtain Crash Bandicoot. I'm just trying to think of all that because I got so many fucking games on my list, dude. It's just insane. But there's a lot I'm going to work on. But I'm going to start cracking down on the Division again. I want to work on Agony when it comes out. Nier, if I can get my hands on that beast. Just so much shit. Just so much.
Yeah. Well, listen, it's a good list. A lot of achievements. Micro, what about you, my brother? What's in your backlog that you just have to get to this summer?
Oh, man, I don't even want to talk about my backlog. It depresses me. I mean, it's just, I've got this huge backlog, and then for some reason I have to feel this need to go out and buy more games, and I don't understand it.
The curse of a gamer.
It's just horrendous. I mean, this week alone, I have made the mistake. I've Crash Bandicoot turn up today, which I really can't wait to sit down and play. I got Nier Automata, and for some crazy reason, although I've got no time to play the games I've got already, I bought Diablo 3. What the hell
that's
am
a
I?
good one. I mean, that'll steal 300 hours of your life.
Oh,
I put that game on for a quick go just to see what it was like the other day, and I put 10 hours into it. And I'm like, where's the day gone?
Well, listen, I mean, that's a very stout list. You have any others you want to add to that?
I've got to finish Resident Evil 7. I've just got to become a man and play it properly. I just can't. It scares me to death, that game. It really does. I've got Vampire I've got to start as well. And Doom I've got to do and play Doom. I've got to play through that game.
Vampire is a real good game.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many great things about that game, and I've got it, and it's sat there waiting, and I was like, why am I buying all these other games when I've still got all these games to play?
You know what? It's something that clicks inside of you that you just have this impulsiveness to buy games. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, and I was always physical as well. I didn't like the idea of going digital, and I'm just buying all digital. So my hard drives, like I've got 2 external hard drives and a cable running out the bedroom window to the car stereo. It's just ridiculous how much storage I need for these games. I've got games coming out of my ears. I really have. No, I've got shitloads. I haven't finished Ghost Recon yet.
That's a great one.
That's another one. Thanks for reminding me.
It looks amazing on the X as well, and it plays so brilliantly. And I still keep going back to the multiplayer on Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty World War 2 as well. I love those 2 games. I'm constantly juggling. It just feels like a constant juggle. And by the time I've decided what I want to play, it's time I've got to go off and do something else around the house. And I'm like, I'm a bit like Prime. Well, that time's wasted. I've spent all that time trying to decide what I'm going to play. I haven't got the time to actually sit down and play it now. I've got to go and do something in the garden. Oh, I'll tell you.
Well, listen, it's stressful to have games in your backlog. I have a ridiculous amount as well. I have currently 743 games on my Xbox One X.
You have games? But
yes, no. You know what? Surprise everyone! The Xbox actually does have games. Yeah, I have 14 terabytes of hard drive space that needs to be filled, and I'm so far doing a good job with the near 750 games. But what I've recently played, I just beat Far Cry 3, the HD remaster. That was fantastic. I'm currently playing through, because I never beat it. I beat all the original Fables, but never played through Anniversary. So I'm 17 hours into Fable Anniversary. Absolutely love that game. It is just so freaking good. And the next 3 games that are on my list is I have to finish GTA 5. I got halfway done and never went back to it. Fantastic game. It's just the characters are just so hilarious. Tales from the Borderlands. I played about 15 minutes of it. I really want to play through it. I heard that is absolutely fantastic. And last but not least, Injustice 2.
Yeah.
I had bought the DLC. I have all the characters. I just never really put any time to it. So those are going to be my next 4, at least for the summer. And Nier Automata, I want to get that. I'm probably going to wait for a sale, but I am going to say this. I think, and this is just an early prediction, and it's not a topic, but it's an early prediction. It is selling so well on the Xbox One right now. I mean, everyone is streaming it, everyone is tweeting it. It's being talked about in every show. I am very confident that it's going to outsell the PlayStation 4 version, and I really hope that it does. Because
it's a great game so far. I'm enjoying it. I've got a few hours in. The only frustration is save points. There's a huge gap within save points, but that's what makes it challenging.
Right.
That's what I was going to say. If I could just say about it, I put it on yesterday just to have a quick go. And
but you can't.
I put it on. Yeah, no, you can't. But I put it on a hard difficulty, thinking I want a challenge. I died in the game, and then it finished. I had to start from scratch again. I was like, what the hell?
The same thing happened to me. I'm like, I got this. It's 45 minutes in. I'm at like the first major boss. I'm like, okay, this is great. And then all of a sudden I died. I'm like, all right, I'll just go right back. Nope. I'm back to playing Asteroids again in the beginning. So
that's exactly where I got to. And I got to start the whole thing again. Where are the save points?
Yeah, that's, you know what? They were born in the 90s, which is what this game kind of feels like, a 90s type of game. Yeah. And back then, their saves were horrendous. I'm sorry that was brought forward. Well,
great game.
Listen, everyone has backlogs. Everyone is going to be busy. Let's just reach out to all the manufacturers and say, stop making games for the summer so we can catch up.
So we can go outside and get some air.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, I'm not going out the house in the next couple of days. I'm sorry. AC all the way and gaming. Listen, I'm gonna move on to the next topic. And like I said, with this particular show, I like to bring very unique topics because you know what? There are so many incredible YouTubers that put out weekly shows. And you don't want to become a carbon copy of someone. I want this to be different. I want to stimulate the viewers and whoever's going to listen on the replay that, oh, I didn't hear about this, so now I'm interested. So the next topic is very interesting, and we're going to get right into that. The Department of Justice just cleared Walt Disney for the purchase of Fox for 71 to this $71.3 billion with a B. And what's also included in that deal is Walt Disney is paying for all of Fox's debt on top of the $71.3 billion. It's nice to have money. Fox, of course, accepted the offer. Now, why do I bring this up? The ramifications of this deal are now showing up in the gaming world, okay, in the form of the Avengers project, which is obviously by Square Enix. And if you're not familiar with what it was, I'm disappointed it didn't show up at E3. But there is someone I follow on YouTube called Comic Book Cast, and I think that they're absolutely amazing. You should go to their channel, give them a sub, and trust me, they don't need it. They have like 300,000 subs, so they're not hurting for subs, but they are my source when it comes to any kind of Marvel DC news. And what I found out from them is a couple of things. The Avengers project that Square Enix is going to be releasing is technically a reboot to the Ultimate Alliance franchise, although it's not being called that because Activision owns the rights to the Ultimate Alliance game. So it's going to be, from what I understand, it's going to be that top-down Diablo type of gameplay. Now, as it stands, there are 70-plus characters to use. As soon as you turn on the game, 70 characters. And in that list of characters, of course, is now the X-Men and all of the Fantastic Four. And that is a big deal because some other information I was able to dig up from Comic Book Cast is that Marvel had put an embargo on anything X-Men and anything Fantastic Four. That's why the next game, which I'm going to talk about, it didn't have any X-Men in it. And that, of course, is the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite that came out last year. It had no X-Men in it. Well, I was able to find some really juicy tidbits for what's coming up in this year's Evo, and a tipster who was of course anonymous said that during right before the big final showdown for Street Fighter V at this year's Evo, they're going to announce the Marvel vs. Capcom the Uncanny Edition, which is going to include all of the X-Men. Again, we talk about, well, what does this deal mean for gaming? Well, there you go. I was very disappointed. When I play Marvel vs. Capcom, I'm a big, a fan of Magneto. I'm a big fan, of course, of Wolverine. Not having him in the game kind of didn't feel right. So I just want to go to the panel. I'll go right to Attack the Glitcher. Do you think that this is good for gaming, that we're finally going to be able to see the use of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men?
Yeah, definitely. The last one I was not a fan of for the fact of, yeah, I have certain characters I like to play as and all that stuff. So seeing this happen now, especially on Uncanny Edition, I'm beyond excited. So, yeah. So it's good, man.
Good. Well, Eve, I'm going to go to you now. Does this obviously the deal means a lot, not just for gaming. Obviously, if you're an MCU fan and you watch the movies as much as I do, now that Marvel Studios is going to actually be able to reboot the X-Men the correct way and get a Fantastic Four that isn't complete garbage, it's a big deal. But for gaming, it's even a bigger deal because who knows where they're going to go with these characters moving forward. What is your take on it?
I'm absolutely excited. The gamer in me and the comic book nerd in me are like together as one. So I'm so happy. I'm just glad that they can actually finally tell the real stories of the Marvel universe in gaming, and that things aren't missing. And I'm just so excited for all this. Like also with like the movies, I know we're more about video gaming, but the movies are going to have like there's going to be a huge impact, especially for people who aren't familiar with any of the Marvel stories.
Oh,
and as far
absolutely.
as like, yeah. And then with Avengers too, I'm not so sure, like if they, for Square to make Avengers, if they pulled out some of the characters that they couldn't have used, and now they're going to put them back in, so that everything comes full circle. Like I'm so friggin' excited for this. Actually,
well, I know this subject was going to be good for you because you like comics. Mm-hmm. So I mean, obviously they killed off the Fantastic Four franchise last year, and they haven't been really doing anything interesting with with the X-Men. I am going to say this: the Russo brothers, who are responsible for some of the best MCU films, were asked during one of the Comic-Cons that recently just passed, and they were, during the interview, the guy said, "Hey, listen, now that Marvel is getting back the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, what plans, what dream picture would you guys like to make?" And they looked at each other, and they both said at the same time, "Secret Wars." And I'm getting goosebumps. Just talking about that, because the possibility of getting a real life Secret Wars, or even like an X-Men versus Avengers in the movies, is just just bananas. Oh
my gosh, because the whole Secret Wars thing is so screwed up without having the X-Men in there, and the Fantastic Four. There were so many great moments that included them that aren't there. So it would be so great to have that happen.
Absolutely. Hey, Micro, I'm going to go to you, brother. Now this news to me anyways, I'm a fan of comics, movies, and everything. I think most gamers are. Is this a big deal for gaming?
It's a big deal for everybody, I think. I mean, I'm a huge comic book fan as well. I have been since the day I could pick up a comic book. Since my mum took me to the first Star Wars movie, first Superman movie, sorry, not Star Wars. I was lucky enough to go and see that at the cinema. So I've been hooked on comic books my entire life. And I know some people have sort of looking at, oh, Disney's taking over the world sort of thing, but I think it's extremely important that everything Marvel is under one roof and under the control of one company, and that's Disney. As it falls, it's Disney. They've done an amazing job with the Marvel movies, with the Avengers and all of that sort of thing. So to bring it into the gaming, it's just incredible. Get all these characters together as they should have been. Fox had their time with these characters, and they did a reasonable job with the X-Men. The Fantastic Four movie that they put out a few years ago was just absolutely appalling when it finished. Honestly, when I was sat there and the credits come up, I thought, hang on a minute, they forgot to show the second half of the film. I don't know what. I thought they forgot to swap the tapes over or something. I just really do not understand what they were trying to do with that Fantastic Four movie. But the X-Men movies, they've done a pretty good job on them. And it will be a bit strange seeing these characters, because the chances are they're probably going to recast everything and redo it in their own way. So it's going to be very strange seeing new actors play these characters. But bring them into the games and bring this massive universe together. It's been the first time that we've actually had this, or we've been at this point where we can do this now, where Marvel is so high up there now. And when you look at what the films were like sort of 15, 20 years ago, if you look at the first Captain America movie that was ever made, oh my God, it was, they were good for the time, but Marvel and the MCU has just gone off in a different plane. It's massive. And I know E-Rock's bited at the bit on this, because I know he's very anti-Disney, but I'm really excited for this. I think it's brilliant to have all of these characters together, getting all these characters, and as you were saying, have this X-Men versus Avengers. There's so much potential.
Oh man,
There's so much potential there, and there's so much potential for new games. Get these games coming out. We want the games.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, I just want to shout out Andy Mack. He mentions Microbox has Batman shoes. I'm curious. I'm curious to find out what that means.
Yeah, I collect Converse. I've got the Flash, Batman,
nice.
Joker.
Nice. My wife for our last anniversary gave me a pair of Converse special edition Batman shoes. As a matter of fact, I have a pair of Converse like that. Yeah, they're dope. They're really dope.
I'm DC bonkers. I actually put a plain T-shirt on a few months ago, and my kids moaned at me and said, "Get your comic book T-shirts back on. We can't see you looking plain."
Oh man, that's funny. Hey, E-Rock, I'm going to go to you because I know that you have a little bit of a bone to pick with Disney. But at the end of the day, is this important for gaming to be able to have the use of the X-Men and the Fantastic Four?
It's important in gaming that Capcom and game develop. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, just fine, dude. Go.
Yeah, I never know when Comcast is going to go out on me. Like they bailed out on me.
That's where your anger should be. Not at Disney. You should be angry at Comcast.
Well, I'm angry at everybody. But let me get to the gist of it. It's good for gamers. I'm happy for gamers. But as far as Disney getting their hands on Fox, in the words of the great and immortal Samwise Gamgee, no, Mr. Frodo, no. This is horrible. This is guys. I know you Marvel fans, and I've got no beef with you. I know you Marvel fans are doing backflips. Like, yeah, we're finally going to get the proper Fantastic Four. Yeah, we're going to finally see Secret Wars, and it sounds great. We heard we were going to see Civil War, and it sounded great. What we got was totally different from what we expected. Guys, listen to me. I know you're happy. I know you're excited. I am not going to pour urine in your cornflakes. I am not going to do that this morning. This is the happy, sunshine, zippity doodah E-Rock. I'm going from the negative dude I was all these years. But guys, one studio will now be in control of 3/3 of Hollywood. This is horrible. Because the fighter in me and the competitor in me wanted to see Fox pull itself up by its bootstraps, handle its financial situations, and fix its franchises. Because we've seen great X-Men films. We've seen X-Men First Class by the amazing Matthew Vaughn, one of my favorite directors. That movie was great. We saw X-Men Days of Future Past. We know that Fox can do a good movie. But, I kind of knew the beginning and the end was coming for them when they let Lucasfilm slip through their hands. Now, I know everybody thinks that Disney's infallible. Hold on now. All you guys calm down, because I know you want to take turns and stab me like Caesar in the forum. Hold on. I know everybody thinks that this is great news, that Disney can do no wrong, but I'm here to tell you that Disney can do a lot of wrong. Look at what happened with Star Wars. This is what happens when you get your hands on too many properties. And I know what you're saying. Well, Star Wars is being handled by Lucasfilm. They all report to one taskmaster, that damn mouse in Orlando. And I'm telling you, how you can mess up Star Wars is a mystery that nobody could solve. Not Carl Sagan, not me, not the people that created Star Wars. So listen, I know you Marvel fans are happy. Yay, we finally got the X-Men back. But you cannot, as a studio, overextend yourself. Yes, the Expendables. What? Not the Expendables. Who are the Incredibles? Whatever that damn family. That movie could have made more money had it not gotten in the way of Disney's other properties. Disney, they don't even wait 2 weeks now before they release the next movie. It's just boom, 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 boom. This is a company that cannibalizes themselves. How could you release Star Wars weeks after Infinity Wars? I would have had Star Wars released nowhere near Infinity Wars. When's Infinity Wars released? In April? I would have had Star Wars released in February of the next year. Guys, listen, I know you're happy, and I want to be happy for you. I just think that Disney's the evil empire. I think they're greedy. I'm happy for you Marvel fans. I'm happy for you gamers. But me personally, I'm deflated at the fact that now everything is going to have a damn Disney logo on it. This is troubling to me. I'm done. I'm sorry.
No. Listen. This is a conversational podcast.
Damn it! Damn you, Comcast! Not only can you not keep my cable working on a podcast, but you couldn't even buy Fox. It was only a measly $71 billion. Oh my God!
Yeah.
I'm done.
Why don't you tell us how you really feel, bro?
Well, no, I completely understand where he's coming from, because like, even as the Marvel fan who wants to stab you, it's like,
damn.
I want to make sure that it's taken care of properly, because it's like my baby, you know. And I can see if they're not, if they're shooting out movies as often as they have been, I can see things starting to slip, and I completely understand what you're saying. But right now, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna get excited. I'm gonna rub myself out to it just for now until I see what it is that they do. But I completely understand where you're coming from.
Well, since you put it that way, I'm all on board. Shit.
You put a little sugar and spice on it.
I'm gonna say this. You know, Kevin Feige is not in charge of what happens in Star Wars realm. The person that is apparently in charge of that definitely needs some help in regards to fixing the Star Wars problem, because the episode 7 was you know, it is what it is, right? And I actually really enjoyed it, to be completely honest.
I did as well. I
thought episode 8 was horrendous. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know this. It's already on Netflix, and it was a soft launch because I saw it in the kids section last night. I'm like, whoa, hold on a sec. When did this get here? And there it is for everyone to watch.
I mean, episode 8 wasn't a bad movie. I like the fact that they actually took a chance with it. I mean, I loved episode 7.
Loved it, yeah.
I loved it, but you could tell it was a total. It was a cop out. It was A New Hope just for the newer generation.
Pretty much.
I like the fact that they took that chance with episode 8. Now, granted, it wasn't the greatest out of all of them, but I still enjoyed it, and I like the fact that they took a chance with it. I liked episode 8, but I know there's a lot of people that are going to disagree with me on it.
No, listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but more specifically, I'm not worried about what they're going to do with the X-Men and the fact that you know, Disney's going to have too many properties, because Kevin Feige is the one that's running the show. And to be completely honest, it's, you know, they haven't really put out a bad movie in a while. You know, and you got to look at what's come out. I mean, you had Black Panther, absolutely amazing. Infinity War, absolutely amazing. Ant-Man and the Wasp is getting incredible reviews. So they just keep getting, you know, win after win after win. So with him in charge, I'm expecting good things. But, you know, if no one else has anything left to say about this particular subject, I kind of want to move on to the hot button topic of this week. And that, of course, is the PlayStation Plus and Games with Gold titles that were made available. And I'm going to start out with PlayStation. Their 2 PS4 games are Heavy Rain and Absolver, which I've never played. The 2 PlayStation 3 games are Rayman 3 HD and Deception 4. And the 2 Vita games, which at this point I cannot believe they still have games for this thing, is Space Overlords and Zero Escape. Both I never heard of. I'll go to the panel. Eve, do any of these PlayStation titles interest you in the least?
No, because I don't have a PlayStation.
Well, that's a real quick way to handle that situation. So there's that. Micro, I'm going to go to you. Do you have a PlayStation 4? I have to ask now.
They sound like a nice selection of games, but no, I do not own a PlayStation 4. I had the PS3.
Okay.
I haven't got around to getting a PS4 at this time.
You know, again, not for everyone. E-Rock, I'll go to you. PlayStation 4 owner or nay?
No, I'm not a PlayStation owner. PlayStation is no longer allowed in this house.
Okay.
But I will say, if you're a PlayStation owner, Heavy Rain, I mean, if you like Quantic Dream games, that was a great game.
It was good, yeah.
You should be excited this month. That's fantastic news for them. See, I'm not a hater.
No, listen, you tipped your hat, and that was polite. I appreciate it. Glitcher, I'm going to go to you, brother. PlayStation 4 owner or nay?
No, yeah, I've got them all. So,
Okay.
yeah, I definitely like to make sure I get the best of both worlds and all that stuff. And the lineup now, my thing is with the lineup is it's okay. It's not horrible. I will say I really loved Heavy Rain. The only problem I had with that game was when you're looking around for Jason and his dad's just going, yeah, son. Yeah, like that was the only part I had a problem with the game. But other than that, the game was good. So I'm definitely excited for this. So yeah, I mean, it's okay. So I'm definitely gonna re-download it and stuff and have fun with it and just tone out the
just put it on you because you know what's happening. But you know, again, I'm gonna be honest, okay, and I'm not shitting on the PlayStation. I'm gonna say that this is a terrible month. I think Heavy Rain, I already own it, which is, of course, sucks for me. But if you don't own it, great for you because Quantic Dreams does make good games. Heavy Rain was fantastic. The rest of the games are all just crap. It seems like it's getting worse. Now, we're going to move on to a subject that, of course, everyone here will be able to answer fully because everyone has an Xbox. But I happen to think that this month's games with gold are fantastic. And the reason why, maybe it's me just being selfish. All 4 games I don't own, at least in the digital form. But I think that they're certainly a heck of a lot better than what they're offering on the PlayStation side. And we're gonna go right into those. Assault Android Cactus is a twin stick shooter. I have video up on my channel on it. Check it out. It looks really good. I'm very interested to play it. Death Squared was already on the PlayStation 4 and the Switch, surprisingly enough. And that looks to be a really fun puzzler. It actually looks to be hilarious because the robot's talking to you and there's someone narrating that's answering the questions. It looks to be hilarious. And of course, for the backwards compatibility, you have Virtual Fighter 5, the Final Showdown, which I love Virtual Fighter. It's one of my favorite fighters. And Splinter Cell Conviction, which I think is the crown jewel. A lot of people skipped on that game. That's a great Sam Fisher title. I'm going to go right to E-Rock. What do you think about the games with gold for the month of July?
Oh, man, let me tell you, I've got a lot to say about this. Games with Gold has just been hitting it out of the ballpark. And I could be here for another 2 hours telling y'all how great that I think Xbox is and how good they do by me. But I'm going to stick to the subject at hand. This month's Games with Gold. Listen, I owned Virtual Fighter 4, I think it is, when it came out in 2007 on the Xbox 360, but I had a physical copy. And I was foolish and took all my physical copies of all my 360 games to this horrible, horrible retailer that you know was GameStop. And I think for 20 days, they gave me $3 in a t-shirt. I'm still hot about that. I'm glad they're going out of business. I'm not glad people are losing their jobs. That's terrible. I'm just glad that I buy all digital now. So to get this Virtual Fighter basically for free and be able to download it into my my download queue and these other games, that's fantastic. Every month it is a win-win because if you don't like the games or if you have a backlog of games like MrBooMStick, who he has a problem. He has to see about this problem. He's got like 700 people. That is an issue. But listen, Virtual Fighter, that's one of the finest fighters of all time. And for those who haven't played Splinter Cell Conviction, I played that game. That was a great game. Voiced by the great actor Michael Ironside.
Yes.
See you at the party, Richter? Oh my God, man. This is a win-win for Xbox gamers. Guys, no matter how you look at it, this is a fantastic month for Games with Gold, and I'm excited about it.
Nice. Eve, I'm going to go to you, darling. What do you think about these these 4 games? Are you interested? Are you going to download them?
Well, I'm just glad it's not another Assassin's Creed. But I don't own any of these games. I kind of wish that maybe for Xbox One they would be more of a
AAA game you throw in there?
Yeah, just something. But no, I'm gonna play all of them. I'm gonna get the achievements. That's all I care. It's free. So they're not that bad for me.
Okay.
You cannot be free.
Micro, I'm gonna go to you, brother. What do you think about these the choices for July?
I think for this month they're really good. I thought last month was a little bit disappointing, but this month I only say that because I had more. But this month I've got Splinter Cell Conviction. As soon as that went on back compat, I rebought it anyway digitally. One of the best of the Splinter Cell games, in my opinion. That was a really, really good game.
Yes.
And for that alone, Games with Gold sort of knocks it out the park this month. But Virtua Fighter 5 was an amazing game. There's just such stellar combat games. They've really got the formula right in those games, and we've been sort of missing them. So the fact that they've put that on there, the other two games, the Xbox One games, I'm not too au fait with them, but I like dual analog stick shooting games, and I like good puzzle games as well. So the lineup overall this month is very strong, and I think it's a good month for them. And people that complain about them and don't like them, I don't understand that. I know that some people have been hating on them, but they are free at the end of the day. I mean, I remember going back to when Xbox Live started.
Yes, you got nothing.
You got nothing. You paid your £40 a month, £40 a year, and you just got your Xbox Live. And the fact that you get these free games now, and people are still complaining about them, I don't understand that, but there you go.
Listen, free is free. For me, this month is a big W because I own none of those games, and I'm probably going to play them all. Glitch, I'm going to go to you, my brother. What do you think about the 4 games with gold?
I'm excited about the 360 games. Like I love Killer Instinct and Mortal Kombat. Damn, something exploded. But I mean, those are the 2 fighting games I like. I've messed around with Virtua Fighter. There's nothing wrong with them, so I'm gonna download this one because why the hell not? The biggest one that I am really kicking myself in the ass for is Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about this, and I can't believe I've waited this long to play it. It's like I've always looked at it. I was like, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get it. And now it's free, and it's like, now if I don't download it, then that's something's wrong with me. But yes, I'm definitely gonna pick that up. I'm excited for those. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. The Xbox One games, it is what it is. I mean, they don't appeal to me, but I'm not gonna flip shit like a lot of people have been lately. It's like, oh, it's garbage. It's whatever. There's no rule saying you have to download them. If you don't like them, go on, pass it up, man. But the 360 games is where it's at. I'm excited for those.
Yeah, that's definitely good. Listen, this wasn't in the topics, but I think it's worth mentioning because we're talking about games. Xbox Game Pass for July. I got to be honest, man. Wow. And I want to break it down and get the panel's opinion on this. I'm just going to read the list. It's going to be Bomber Crew, Human Fall Flat, Abzu, which is a gorgeous game to play. Definitely worth your time. Zombie Army Trilogy, which is basically the Sniper Elite franchise. Again, fantastic if you like zombies. Dirt 4, great driver. Shadow Complex, man, you get on this game. It is one of the best Metrovania games that probably a lot of people didn't play. Oblivion for the 360. I mean, come on. Fallout 3, but this is the crown jewel, and this is a big deal because it's a brand new game. Vermintide 2, which looks absolutely stunning, running on the Xbox One X. It's currently, I think the beta's running. Dealer's been talking about it like crazy. I saw gameplay of him. He loves it. I'm going to go to E-Rock. What do you think of this lineup for again, I've been subscribing to Game Pass since the beginning. I don't have any of these games, only maybe 1 or 2 of them. So it's a big deal for me. What do you think?
This is just bananas. This is let me try to collect myself first. Look, this is bananas. And I would have never even subscribed to Game Pass if it hadn't been for Andy McKee, Beardy Mac, the beard with legs. He gave me a free 1-month trial to Game Pass, and I've been hooked ever since. I mean, it's not enough that day and date Sea of Thieves comes out, and I get to play Sea of Thieves with my friends, basically for just the price of a monthly subscription. Day and date, the exclusives come out on Game Pass, but this month is just absolutely ridiculous. I've seen Vermintide. Just for those of you who don't know what Mr. BoomStick's talking about, go on YouTube and look up Vermintide 2. it's like a first person game with this incredible graphics, and you're shooting demons.
It's like Left 4 Dead, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead in ancient times.
Day and date. For those of you who love the Elder Scrolls saga, Oblivion on the 360, that was a game changer when that came out.
Certainly was.
That was a game changer. So I mean, every month, Xbox Game Pass justifies its $10 asking price. There's no way that you can. I don't care if you work in a pie factory as a pie taster. There's no way you can't afford to get a debit card from the check casher. I live in the hood, so I got to break it down in hood terms for these people, man.
Wait a minute, you hooked me at pie tester.
Yeah. You go to your local check casher place and get one of those debit cards that you can load up with $10, and you can pay for Game Pass and get access to over 100 games. Plus these games that we've never played before. I personally don't own any of those games. I used to own Oblivion, but again, it got given away to Game Pass, and that stupid mistake I made of selling all my 360 games to GameStop.
You know what, dude? I'm going to be honest with you. The next time that we have a private conversation, I'm going to bring one of those dolls, and I just want you to show me where they touched you. Because it doesn't seem right that you didn't press charges against GameStop.
Yeah, what they did to me was bad, man. But you know, listen, Mr. BoomStick, guys, this is an incredible month for Game Pass. In closing, it just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better. And I can hear you guys in the chat, in the comment section. Oh, you're just a blind Xbot. Whatever. I happen to like value for Xbox Live.
It's just more games to add to your backlog. That's all.
Thank you. And who's going to argue with more? $10 a month for access to over 100 games? It's like, I hate to be facetious here, but this is like the Netflix of gaming. This has never been done before.
Yeah, it does. And I got news for you. I'm not sure if the sale is still running, but my wife surprised me right after E3. Amazon.com was offering a half price sale, 6 months of Game Pass for $30.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's $5 a month. I'm paid up until March of 2019, so we are good. Micro, I'm going to go to you, brother. Does this, coupled with what we're getting for free in Games with Gold, seem to be like a really good month to be an Xbox fan?
Well, first of all, I want to apologize for my explosion earlier. I spilt my drink all over my desk.
Real life happens, dude. It's perfectly okay.
I thought you were just excited about the games.
Just popped off. Yeah? Oh my God, it went everywhere. But anyway, so I do apologize for that. But I have been beating the drum about Game Pass since the day that they announced it, and I have been arguing with people. Even recently, I've been arguing with a specific member of the Xbox community about Game Pass. I'm not going to say who it was, but he does not like it, and he thinks it's a waste of money. And I've got all this and all that.
Crazy.
To me, this is something as a young working married man, 25 years ago. My God, I'm old. Game Pass would have been a dream come true. Yes. You know, $7.99 a month in the UK, access to all of these games, all of these new games as they release, and you get them on day one. Sea of Thieves, you know, it is a great idea, and hats off to Microsoft for coming up with this, because it just opens it up. Not everybody can afford to buy one new game a month, let alone 2, 3, 4 games a month. Gaming is an expensive hobby, and to have access to these games, you know, on the day of their release for the exclusives, and all these other games that are continually dropping on the Game Pass, I think it's a fantastic service. And at the end of the day, if you don't think it's for you and you don't like it, don't pay for it. You know, you have that option. Don't moan about something that other people are using. But then you're moaning about it yourself just because you don't agree with it. You don't have to have it. You don't have to have Netflix. You don't have to have Amazon Prime. But for some reason, it's all right to attack Xbox for having these things. I don't understand why. But as a service, it's fantastic. And having these games drop in, you know, Games with Gold, the Game Pass, Microsoft just continually keep knocking these services out of the park. And on as far as services go, none of the other you know, game, none of the other developers, software developers, are anywhere near what Microsoft are doing at the moment. Sony's nowhere near it, and neither is Nintendo, unfortunately. They're in a league of their own with these digital services, and it's obvious from Phil Spencer that that's where they want to go. They want to push this, and they want this to become the Netflix of gaming. So yeah, you've got the choice. You have the choice to spend the money. I think it's an amazing idea. I mean, a lot of the games on there that I do have, I still subscribe to the service. It's still worth your $7.99 a month. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, especially, and you might be able to catch a deal. Like I said, I don't think that's going to be the last time it goes on sale for half price. So you can definitely look towards Black Friday. And I got news for you. I will buy 4 of them and lock up Game Pass for 2 years. 2 years for $120 would be astounding. I mean, $5 a month is ridiculous.
The other thing as well, I mean, when they announced the Game Pass, people were saying, well, it's going to affect game sales. You know, it's not, though. It's proven that State of Decay 2, the biggest IP sale in May. You know, it beat God of War by quite a margin, I believe. And it was
Detroit Become Human, even more so.
Exactly. You know, so and this game was on Game Pass, so it's not affecting sales at all.
I mean, it's still climbing.
Yeah, it's still climbing. At the end of the day, gamers want to own their own games anyway. But the Game Pass is a great way to go back and try some older games that you may not have originally tried because you wouldn't waste the money, because you don't want to take the risk. Because as I said, gaming is an expensive hobby. You don't always take risks buying some games you're not quite sure of. Game Pass opens that avenue out to you. Yep. And if you do like it, you then get your discount. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely. Eve, what about you, darling? What do you think about the total? I mean, like I said, the Game Pass month I think is incredible, but if you match that with what you're getting free for Games with Gold, I think it is just an incredible July for Xbox fans.
Oh, I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm a huge supporter of the Game Pass. First of all, I think there's so many games that I haven't even heard of or seen that's there available for me. So I think that's great. And as far as the games, I have played majority of them. I absolutely love Fallout 3. That's like, oh my gosh, that's what really got me into the whole Fallout thing. Besides the top-down that came out on PS2 and the Xbox, which I absolutely love too. But for Vermintide, I haven't played it yet. I do have the beta. If anybody wants to play with me, please play with me.
Yes, that'd be great. That'd be a lot of fun. You guys definitely gotta do that because it. Again, if you're a Left 4 Dead fan, you like the medieval kind of backdrop, then this game is for you.
I'm a huge Left 4 Dead fan, which brings me into Valve, but I won't get into Valve. Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
I think it's a great month for people to sign up. There's a good variety of games, and they're good games. Like Elder Scrolls and Fallout alone, for me, I think are games that everybody should play, especially if you're an RPG fan.
Yeah. Well, listen, again, it comes at a time where we're all complaining about a backlog. You just got 11 new games in your backlog.
Oh, I know. Slap them on there.
Glitch, I'm going to go to you, brother. What do you think about this this month for Xbox fans? Big deal, or you'll pass?
You know what, man? First off, to piggyback off the micro, man, Game Pass is a great investment. I was talking with a guy at work. He's like, I got PlayStation. He's like, but I'm really looking to pick up an Xbox. I was like, all right, buddy.
Wow.
First thing you do is pick up the Xbox and right away out the gate get Game Pass. And he's like, well, what's Game Pass? And I explained it to him. He's like, dude, that's pretty freaking sweet.
Yeah.
So after breaking it down, so he's going to get an Xbox. He's going to get a Game Pass right away. And Game Pass is very consumer friendly. They knocked it out the park with that. And for this month, I'm going to lose a lot of hours and days and stuff. I might as well just take vacation from work because Fallout 3, I love Fallout 3. That's like
great
one of my
game,
favorite
man.
ones.
Great game.
Oblivion, that's like I said, I'm going to lose. I might as well just hang it up for the next month and a half because I'm going to just disappear. And Vermintide, because I know on my podcast I said it wrong, and before I got to correct myself, I got my ass whooped for it. So Vermintide, I am ready to get going on that because, yes, it is very Left 4 Dead-esque. So I'm very excited about that one. Like, I got the beta, and I've been messing around with it. It's, yes, Yes. You cannot go wrong with this. Definitely. So Xbox, in my opinion, has kind of really slammed it out the park.
Well, look, all I'm going to say is this. If you're a Sony fan and you don't own an Xbox, of course, you'll again, this community is usually fantastic. There are so many bright spots, but unfortunately, with the bright spots comes dark corners. And I have seen some real horrible things said about Game Pass by, the ponies, as we call them. Not. And again, when I say ponies, I'm not insulting the PlayStation players, because there are Xbots that are just complete dickheads that that I don't like, would never associate myself. So, but both sides of the coin have the undesirable, so to speak. But I'm going to be honest. For someone to complain about a Netflix type gaming service for $10 a month, and if you're a savvy, person on a budget like me, who can't really buy everything, because Mooch unfortunately gave me the crown of I buy everything, and it's true. At one point or another, I used to buy everything, but now I can't. So now I have to budget my gaming, because life is important. You just got to make sure the Con Ed is paid, because then you can't play games, right? So life takes a front seat. But with that said, I don't understand how you could not defend the game, a Game Pass, when it's literally the first company to do a Netflix of gaming. It's just, I don't understand. And again, if you're a savvy or a person on a budget, you go to eBay, you can get these codes for $4 and $5. You spend about $12 or $16, and there's your 4 months. You're locked up for $16. That's what I did earlier this year. As a matter of fact, January, February, March, I paid $12.99 for those 3 months, because I got a 3-month pass on eBay for $13. Not bad. So if you're complaining, then don't pay for it. But if you're a gamer on a budget, or you want a lot of games in one shot, because that's the thing that a lot of people don't talk about this. You're getting 3 generations of games on this service. Yep. And I don't think people really put the match to the candle with that, because you're getting OG Xbox, you're getting Xbox 360, and you're getting new Xbox One games. I mean, again, it's a win for every gamer, whether you're on a budget or not. And again, it's just 100 more games to put into your backlog. Thanks, Xbox. I really appreciate that.
And boom. Sorry, you're not streaming them either.
Yes, download right to the hard drive. And you know what? This is not a PS Now where you have to pay $13 for a game that's 14 years old. No. So no good. Listen, we're going to move on to the next topic, and I think this is a big one. And if you're a Halo fan, roll up your sleeves, because this is a good one. Yesterday, Marty O'Donnell. Now, if you're not that name doesn't ring a bell to you, of course, he is the composer of every fantastic Halo song that still drums in your head, right? He had a meeting with 343 Studios, and I'm getting goosebumps, folks, just talking about this. And he posted a picture. I took a picture with Joe Staten, who's the senior creative director at Microsoft Studios, and Jen Taylor, who is the voice of Cortana. And he said, it's great to be in Seattle. They officially had a meeting. Now it comes to speculation time. Is Marty O'Donnell possibly coming back to Halo? I'm going to go right to Micro. How big of a deal is this for Microsoft, but more importantly, 343 and the Halo franchise?
It's massive for Halo. I mean, the music in Halo is as big as the logo. It's that thing that you hear as soon as you hear that. Even just a snippet, it's Halo, and and your hackles go up on your back. You start getting, what I mean? It's just an amazing soundtrack. So for him to be going back and possibly going back, Rumor Control, if he's going back to do the music and to help with the music for Infinite, oh my God. I mean, I just remember the first time when I had my PlayStation 2 and I was getting a bit demoralized with it. You know, none of the games were arriving, and what did they were overhyped and that. And I went into the first game store and I was walking around and I heard that music and I was like, what's that? And I turned around and that is it. From that day forward, I walked out with an Xbox, I walked out with a copy of Halo, and I've never looked back. And that's the one thing that it's massive. The music for that game is massive, and for him to be going back to this it's a big thing. And I hope he is. I'm touching wood here. That's my desk, by the way, I might add. It's a big thing. I hope to God he is going back, because it would be awesome. I think it just adds that extra level to the experience.
No, forget about it. Look, let's say this. If you're unfamiliar on why he's a free agent, the scumbags at Bungie fired him. And of course, he sued them because they tried to take his vacation and a lot of money, and he won in court. And he's been a free agent ever since. And as you know, as disappointing as it may be, because this year would have been the scheduled Halo game, I'm completely okay with them taking their time with Infinite, simply because moves like this are being made. And if you're a fan of Halo 1, 2, and 3 and Reach, which I am, ODST as well, Marty O'Donnell is responsible for some of the greatest gaming music in the history of gaming. And like I said, you hear his tones in the instruments. You know it's Marty O'Donnell that made that soundtrack. I'm gonna go to you, Eve. How big of a deal is this for Halo, but more importantly, the Halo fans that have been missing what Marty used to bring to each and every title?
It's a really big deal. I remember first hearing the theme song. It brings you into the whole entire Halo universe and atmosphere. It brings you into the game. Music is so important, even like without gaming and in gaming, but he really did something special and magical that made you not forget Halo, and it made you not forget those scenes and moments. So to have him come back it's a really big deal, because it's going to mean that the next Halo game is going to be just as magical as the previous ones.
Yes, absolutely. E-Rock, I'm going to go to you, my brother. Like I said, big deal for the Halo franchise, considering that 5 was a bit of a lull. Their new engine, the possible return of Marty O'Donnell. How big of a deal is this?
Oh my God, man! Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I hear it in the background. Excellent.
Listen, this is it. so damn melodramatic. This is a huge deal for me, because as Eve so eloquently put, who doesn't remember buying their Xbox and playing that game and hearing that music as you're shooting the Covenant and shooting those grunts, and it immediately brings you back to 2001, 2002. This is huge. This is Microsoft making moves. This is the Microsoft that I wanted to see at this last E3. This news just keeps trickling out, and I don't know if I can speak for the whole panel here. I have to speak for myself for what I've seen. This last 5 months for Xbox,
crazy.
You've seen this momentum shifting. You've sort of seen this this paradigm shift. A big word that I learned from another great YouTuber. I forget his name right now because I'm 49 and I forget a whole lot of stuff now. But you feel like a paradigm shift is happening. He's from your podcast, Microboxer X. I forget his name. The black gentleman who's so eloquently.
Oh, Terminator.
Terminator, man. I got to go out to him, because he's just so smooth and I'm just so crude and coarse. But yeah, you could feel that something is happening, Mr. Boomstick. Something is happening. I've never seen Microsoft make this many moves in a matter of months. Now, of course, as you know, with all the inside connections that you've got more inside connections than the people that invaded Watergate. Listen, this stuff takes years. This stuff don't happen overnight. This stuff takes years.
Yes.
And for Bungie to reveal what dirtbags they are, what angry, unappreciative dirtbags they are to the company and the people that made them, In the words of the Iron Sheik, the hand that feeds you, you do not bite that hand. Hell yeah. And so the guy that composed the music that we love, that takes you back to a time and an era that we love, is coming home. This is huge. It's as huge as the Marvel characters, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four coming home to the MCU. Yeah. I didn't mean to slight you Marvel fans earlier. I understand what a big deal it is. It's the same big deal to us Halo fans. I'm excited about this, but something is going on up there in Redmond. They're making too many moves, and this is huge news. I'm excited. I'm glad I came here to Breakfast with Boom. I'm excited.
No, dude, I'm happy to have you, and I'm glad that that you're going to walk away with this not only informed, but more importantly, happy. Glitch, I'm going to go to you, my brother. Marty O'Donnell, look, let me say this. Nothing has been officially confirmed, but I'm going to say this. No one takes a picture in front of Redmond with people from Halo, and it has been confirmed that he did meet with them. I'm not saying that I could be wrong, because I can be wrong, but the possibility of him returning is there. He's not currently working. This Halo, Halo 6 or Halo Infinite, whatever it's going to be called, is not coming out for quite some time. Getting him on board is, I think, almost a guaranteed job for him, because he's basically Mr. Halo. Is this a big deal for Halo fans across the world?
I'm gonna break this down a little bit, because I don't know if a lot of y'all know that I'm actually a retared musician.
Okay.
Music used to be my life. I used to play music and video games. So, hearing this, music speaks to everybody, and music could set the mood. And hearing this is totally awesome. I'm like beyond excited, because certain games, like when we were pre-gaming it, we were talking about Resident Evil 2. And the deluxe edition, you get the original soundtrack. So and that just set the mood. So I'm excited for this. This is definitely something I cannot wait to see if confirmed or not, because like in certain parts of games and certain parts of music, it just builds everything up, and it just sets the tone and it sets the mood. So I'm hoping this is true, because I'm beyond excited for this. Music, it sets a tone for anything you do. So especially in Halo, the intro, certain parts of Halo, when you're like in a very excited moment of the game and the music's picking up, it's building up, it gives you the goosebumps. It's just, I hope this is true, because music just sets everything. And if he's back on board, then the next Halo is going to be beyond epic, just for the soundtrack alone.
Yep. So
I'm excited. I hope this happens. Like I said, retired musician, music sets everything. It speaks to you. It touches your soul and everything. And I want to hope this is true. So, yeah.
Well, you know what? Like I said, he's not shy. I don't know Marty personally, but I've seen him in many interviews. Whenever he talks, I do stop and listen, because he is very, very intelligent person. He talks about the love of not only music, of course, is his first love, but involving that in gaming for that reason, because music does tell a story. And a lot of people don't, I'm not sure if people put a real emphasis on how important music is to tell a story, especially in gaming, and especially in a game world as big and incredible as Halo. To see the idea of his return, it just gets me so excited for Halo Infinite, whatever it's going to be. But you know what? I'm going to segue, and this is dope, because I didn't even actually plan this out. I actually missed this, and I'm going to segue into the Halo TV series. Officially announced. It has been greenlit. Okay. I'm going to read direct quotes from 343 Studios. Okay. It is a big day for Halo. Showtime president and CEO David Nevins announced the network has ordered a 10-episode season based on the legendary video game franchise. This is a big deal. I'm gonna give you the quote directly from 343 in a second. The director has been confirmed as the gentleman that is responsible for Rise of the Planet of the Apes. That movie was incredible. To get a director of that stout to do Halo is incredible. And this is a direct quote from 343. This is a truly exciting moment for the Halo franchise, stated Kiki Wolfkill, head of Halo Transmedia at 343 Industries. Together, our creative team and production partners at Showtime and Ambient Television, the Halo television series will represent new and exciting ways for fans to enter and engage with the Halo universe. We can't wait to share more on what's ahead. Filming begins in early 2019. Okay, so goosebumps once again, because we're talking about Halo. This is the TV series that we've been hearing about. We finally got greenlit for a 10 season 1, 10 episodes. They're going to be an hour long. It's going to be on Showtime, so it's cable, so it's going to have cursing and gore and everything you'd want in an adult Halo themed representation of the franchise. Glitcher, I'm going to go right to you first because I know that you're a big Halo fan. How big of a deal is this Halo news on top of the possibility of Marty O'Donnell possibly returning to Halo?
This is beyond epic, and hearing that the guy doing that did Rise of the Planet of the Apes, man, and on Showtime, so there is definitely going to be no calm down, no like watered down show. This is going to be, oh my god, dude! And like I said, they set the tone with the music. They build up everything right with the show. This show is going to slam it out the park. I just want to know who they're gonna have do Chief. Because
you know what, they're the only other information is that I have in regards to it is that it says basically Halo will be executive produced by Killian Watt and Sean Pennington, along with Justin Faveli and Daryl Frank from Ambient Television. The series will be distributed globally by CBS Studios International. They're at this particular time, and I looked right before we went live, there's been no casting as far as I know. And if there has, it's been real, close to the vest. They have no information on what story, where it's going to be. I mean, for all we know, it could be a prequel to Infinite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna. I can guarantee that it's gonna have something to do with the new game. But it will be interesting to see who they cast.
Well, I guess. Well, to kind of throw this out to the panel, being that because they really set a tone with Chief. You know who he is. They have that voice actor. You just know the movements, the voice, and everything. So I guess my question is to the panel: who would you think would do a good job as a Master Chief?
Well, the guy has to be at least 6 feet. At least 7 feet tall. He has to represent. Chief is a monster compared to everyone else. Eve, I'm going to go to you right away because I heard you talking in the background. How big of a deal is this for the Halo franchise that it's getting a proper TV series with the backing of someone as big as Showtime?
I'm very excited in the fact that it's Showtime, so it will be adult. I just have the habit of getting too excited and then watching something and being like, what the hell is this? So I'm really, really hoping that they do it right and that they do us fans some justice. As far as the casting for Chief, that's really, really tough. And that's going to be really, really important because if you get the wrong person, everything else can be completely perfect. But if he's wrong, then the whole show is wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that it has to be, they have to cross every T and dot every I to make sure that this comes off as the greatest video game TV series in the history. E-Rock, I'm going to go to you, my brother. Big deal for Showtime, big deal for the Halo franchise on the fact that not only we're getting a new Halo, we're getting a new game engine and the possibility of a Marty O'Donnell return. Man, I mean, if you're a Halo fan, look out.
You hear all the excitement in your voices?
Yes.
Can you hear? This is why franchises need to go away for a while.
Yep.
They don't need to release every 6 months. I know releasing a movie every other month's been working for Marvel, but sooner or later, the wheels have to fall off of that bus. It's just I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm just saying that when something goes away for a while, like Aquaman ain't coming out until December. Imagine how glad we'll be again to see DC. They're far away. They're way off into December. You know, I hope I'm still alive by then because I'm an old man. But listen, this is what happens, folks, when Halo went away, right? Halo went away. I mean, the last we heard of it was Halo Wars 2 last year. The last we heard about the Halo TV series was a very well-spoken young lady coming out at E3 2015, I think. I mean, this has been an eternity in the works. So this is exciting. It's exciting that CBS is behind it because I haven't watched any of Star Trek Discovery. I'm kind of Star Trek out, except for the.
I heard it was supposed to be fantastic.
Yeah. Well, from what I hear, it's a good show. So if they take that stark, dark approach with Halo, I'm all behind it. And the actor who I think should play Master Chief, I do not know his name, but the actor who played Crossbones and Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yes, yeah, he's a great actor. He's fantastic. He's a great actor. Great actor.
By the way, other than Guardians of the Galaxy, Winter Soldier is the finest Marvel film ever. That's the guy. That's the guy, man. We got to get somebody that we haven't seen, somebody who we're not expecting. But this is great news, and it's great news because Halo sort of disappeared, didn't it? It sort of went off everybody's radar.
It did. Yeah, it did. Absolutely. Well, you know what? Listen. It seems you're excited. It seems everybody excited, but I got to hear about what Micro has to say about this, dude. Is this exciting news for and perfect timing, to be completely honest, with all the good news that Xbox has been having, and on top of the fact that we know that Infinite is being developed. Big news for Halo fans.
This is something that I've been waiting for 10 years. I mean, for 10 years, probably longer than 10 years. I've been listening to, right, Steven Spielberg's doing this, Peter Jackson's doing this, Ridley Scott's involved. And it's like, where is it? Why do we keep hearing about this? Yet it never seems to appear. Something always seems to happen to prevent it from appearing. And to actually have this confirmed now, it's a 10-episode series. It's done. The deal's done. I can't wait. It's fantastic. I just hope and pray that they do it properly. And as an actor to do it, get Steve Downes to do it. He's the original voice of Halo.
Yes.
At the end of the day, Master Chief shouldn't be taking his helmet off anyway. We've never seen his face.
Right.
It's very much like Judge Dredd. He never takes the helmet off. Anybody can play him.
Oh, epic name drop, Judge Dredd.
Yeah, exactly. You know, anybody could go in the suit. Just get Steve Downes to do
and
the
I think
voice.
you're 100% right. I think I would say I don't want to sound like a downer. I would say that it would almost be disrespectful to the franchise and its fans not to have that guy doing the voice.
Yeah, it would be definitely. The thing is, I mean, has it been confirmed that Master Chief is even going to be in it? I mean,
yes, yeah, it's gonna focus on Chief. There's no
well, that's brilliant then, because if they did that and it wasn't focused on Master Chief, I think that would have been a big mistake. We've been wanting Master Chief in something like this for so long. It's fantastic.
You know, it's funny when you asked, I was gonna josh you and say no, it's focusing on Locke. I would have been booed off my own show, so I walked away with it.
I'm glad you did. I'm old as well. I'm like E-Rock. I could have had a stroke or anything going on.
Well, listen, you know what? Again, E-Rock, you said it earlier. For the last, I mean, and it's true. It's been 5 months, but really, man, it's wow. Talk about being an Xbox fan post E3. It's just been, I've been floating on air. I mean, you know, and again, it's been a long time coming because, you know, it's been tough to be an Xbox fan. But I think with all of this good news and Marty possibly coming back and a Halo TV series being confirmed and all of this great Halo stuff, you know, Phil Spencer getting out in front and saying, yeah, with the Scarlet's in development. You know, you had the guy from one of the producers from State of Decay 2 saying Microsoft isn't playing around. All of this good news. There's word on the street that Remedy is the next company being purchased by Microsoft, and there's a big AAA one that they haven't discussed as of yet that may be announced. I'm hearing rumblings that we may get another AAA studio announced at Gamescom. That's a possibility. So, I mean, it's wow. Talk about a great time to be a fan. But unfortunately, with every show, there is going to be a subject that's going to make everybody go, ugh. And that's going to be the next topic. And I think it's worth talking because prior to going live, Glitcher and I were discussing the division, and he said that he played mostly on the PlayStation and that he didn't have the season pass for the Xbox. And that's going to segue right into Sony's situation regarding crossplay. And again, I know this has been beat to death, but I really want to go into this. The newest article from one of the magazines has states Sony is confident it will find a Fortnite crossplay solution. And before I go to the panel, I just want to read a direct quote from Sean Layden. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's complete bullshit. It is as corporate speak as you can get, but of course, no one is calling them out except the Xbox gamers. The PlayStation, Earth Defense Force has come out and they've covered Sean Layton in this goo, and he can't be touched by anyone. Now, what goo it is, I don't know, but I'm not asking. This is what he was quoted in saying when he was interviewed. We're hearing it. We're looking at a lot of the possibilities. You can imagine that the circumstances around that affect a lot more than just one game. I'm confident we'll get to a solution which will be understood and accepted by our gaming community while at the same time supporting our business. Now, before I go to the panel, that is, I'm sorry to say, as corporate PR speak as you could possibly get, and I have not seen one negative article saying that this is total bullshit. I'm going to go to E-Rock first. What is your take on this? I mean, because it sounds like complete rubbish, and they have no intention of doing crossplay or cross progression. More importantly, what's your take on it, dude?
Guys, listen, we are all YouTubers here, trying to make our channels grow. We are all content providers, and I'm here to speak to each and every one of you on this panel to take advantage of this. There is money to be made in this ongoing debacle. And me, as the Don King of Xbox, I'm calling it Sony's oversight over your right to play Fortnite. They messed up big time, brother. They blew it, and we should not let them off the hook. What this sounds like to me, it sounds like corporate speak. It sounds like a lot of backpedaling. We're going to find a way to do crossplay. Listen, we all know that Sony wants you to play on one console, right? And that's the PlayStation. There's no benefit for them to have PlayStation gamers be able to play with Nintendo gamers or Xbox gamers. They want their focus to be on their console and their exclusives. To me, that's anti-consumer. To me, all of this backpedaling, like if you really wanted to make crossplay a thing with the Nintendo, with Fortnite, with any of these games, they could do it, couldn't they?
Yes. Not to sound like a complete imbecile, but from how it's been explained to me, it's logistically a flick of the switch.
Yes. It's all about they want the focus to be on their platform. I've never seen a platform that's purportedly in the lead, that purportedly has over 80 million consoles sold. I still don't believe that number. That purportedly is the mob favorite and the chosen one that will not give you, the consumers, what you asked for. But Xbox, they were the ones who were anti-consumer. They were the ones who were anti-gamer. What a difference a couple of years makes. What just this last 5 months, I've never seen anything like this. And to see the media once again, some outlets are calling Sony out, but to see the media trying to cover up this debacle, this clear infringement on your rights. If you own a copy of Fortnite and you can't transfer your information and your skins over to the Switch, if this doesn't make you mad, I don't know what will. I think it's corporate doublespeak. I think Sony's hiding something. They're always hiding something. They're Sony. Yeah. And I'm glad that you're calling them out on this nonsense.
Good. Excellent. Well, great, dude, I could not have said it better, but I want to hear from the rest of the panel. Micro, I'm going to go to you, brother. I know this has got to boil your blood, especially when you hear Sean Layden backing and talking nonsense.
I still can't believe it, and it's something that Glitcher said earlier actually, and I'll bring that up in a minute. I mean, it doesn't end with this sort of crossplay and sharing your accounts. I mean, Glitcher was saying earlier that he wants to play the Division on Xbox, but he bought the season pass on the PlayStation. Why do we have to buy 2 game passes for different systems? They should cross over. But I can tell you now, Sony will never allow crossplay until, and the only reason they will allow it is if they could charge for the service. That's the only way Sony will do that, is if they can make money on it. And the way that he said that in his little speech that he put in that that article, it points directly to it. They will only do it if it suits the gamer and it fits their business model, and they will charge. They will want to charge for that. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever. But they're best to, the thing that is just ignore it and just pretend it doesn't happen. But I really don't know with Sony. They really have got to this point now where they're a little bit like Nintendo got themselves into with the first Wii. They got a little bit complacent with the sales numbers, and they thought they could just do what they wanted, and they got away with things. And when they introduced the Wii U, they suddenly realized, oh, actually, we should have put a little bit more effort into this. And I think Sony have got themselves into that situation now, where they've got 78 million consoles sold, but they've actually still got to put some work in. The people that have bought the console still deserve their time and their commitment. And I think Sony are at that point where they're thinking, oh, we don't need to bother with all that, but they do. And I think gamers are starting to take notice a little bit more of these things now. And it's going to keep going on, this one, hopefully. And I think Sony have got to still be held accountable for their decisions and their choices and the way that they sort of portray their business and the way that they act. But yeah, I honestly think the only way Sony will do this is if they can charge for it. That's my honest opinion, because that's the way that they are. That's the company that they are.
Yeah. Well, you're absolutely right. And you know what? The whole slogan for the players seems like a total load.
I'm going to go to the payers. It's for the payers. I've said it.
For the payers, not the players. That's good. Eve, I'm going to go to you, darling. What do you think? Is this corporate speak at its complete finest? And are you surprised that none of the ponies are calling Sony out for not allowing them to use stuff they already paid for?
Yes.
I think it's absolute bullshit. And I completely agree with Microbox about how they're going to find a way to do whatever it is they need to benefit themselves. And I know that they're feeling the heat. That's why they had to come up with something. They had to say something. And these quote unquote ponies, of course, they're going to do whatever it is to defend themselves, because they are like, they're hanging on by a very, very thin thread right now. And I believe Sony will come up with a solution, but it's going to make the gamer pay for that solution. And
you know what? It wouldn't surprise me.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting, because it is supposed to be for the consumer and for the players. And you're supposed to get people to want to play, to want to buy your items. But instead, they're going to make you kind of force to pay and force. You shouldn't be forced to pay to play, even though I'm sure people will get on me about that because of the whole Xbox Live Gold and stuff like that. Yeah, we have to pay to play. But it's not as bad as what Sony is kind of making them look like. I don't know. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to say this. I'm going to go to Glitcher next, but before I do, I just kind of want to throw this out there, because I know he'll be being a showrunner himself. He's going to run with this. This appears to be a very arrogant Sony, and this kind of arrogance has not been seen since the PS3 debacle. And I'm wondering, you never know. You always like to say, a person learns from their mistakes, right? Like Microsoft was the leader with the 360 and they effed up. And now they had to fix all the wrongdoings of the knuckleheads that are no longer here, right? So they're doing that now. Sony, if I recall, I remember watching that E3, a couple things that I remember about it specifically. If you can't afford it, go get a second job. That was one of the statements. And massive damage to the real life crab boss Okay? A lot of people don't remember that.
Oh my god.
So,
Yeah.
Glitch, I'm going to go to you, dude. Is this Sony possibly reverting to arrogant 2006 Sony?
I mean, the whole article was all, corporate mumbo jumbo. And to go back to what you said, yes, it is a flip of a switch because, well, I think it was like a few months back. I don't know the exact how long ago it was, but Epic, hit the switch and people started noticing people were playing against Xbox player and people were playing against PlayStation players. And yeah, it's a flip of a switch. Very simple to do because it happened. It went for a whole weekend, and then they just hit the switch to the off position. So yes, it is very simple to do. They can pull it off. That is very anti-consumer, in my opinion. Sony. Okay, they're gonna flaunt their shit. All right, yeah, we got the big install base. Okay, fine, cool. You got the big install base, but don't limit people. You're concerned about, oh, well, we care about the kids and stuff on PlayStation. Yet you have one of the most kid-friendly company doing it with another heavy hitter. You got Nintendo working with Xbox, and they are they're the most kid-friendly company out there. Yet they have zero problems doing it. Yeah. I don't. That whole, we're concerned about the children. You're full of shit on that. All right.
Yeah, I agree.
Nintendo's doing it, so you can already get rid of that statement. When I was working with Dealer on Monday on the game Dosage, he brought something up saying, do it, put it together, let all of these companies, battle it out, have leaderboards, saying, hey, this week, PlayStation guys took out the Xbox guys. Next week, Xbox guys took out the PlayStation guys, and go down that way. Make it into a competition, turn it into something fun. You can do so much with this. This is something they could run with. And actually, at the end of the day, make it all profitable for all of the companies.
For everyone, yes.
Yeah, if you limit yourself to, okay, well, we're going to put out a bundle that has this game that's already for free. Yeah, it's already a dumbass thing. Oh, buy PlayStation, you get Fortnite for free.
Terrible. Absolutely the worst marketing timing. I mean, listen, it's funny you should bring that up because role reversal has happened since E3.
Yes.
And if you remember how everything was prior to Microsoft and Sony getting up on that stage, it was a tale of two different coins. Mm-hmm. Now, post E3, Microsoft, bang, 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 good news all the way. And and now look at Sony, and it's been bumbling and stumbling and fumbling right before the end zone. Not good for Sony. And this bundle is almost like it is really insulting that they're going to package a free game, and the big draw is you get a blue bomber jacket. I mean.
Well, and here's the thing. Okay, now here's the thing too that a lot of people like. Okay, the younger kids, they're not going to understand that. They know Fortnite is the big thing. They see that bundled with PlayStation. So yeah, they're going to be like, oh, hey, mommy, I want that because it comes with this. Okay, cool. But we're going to look at this and be like, we're not stupid, really. So this is just in my opinion, a dumbass move on them. All three companies could make a killing with this, turn it into a competition, make leaderboards out of it. You know how many people would be on board with that? Hey, Johnny, I got PlayStation. Hey, Billy, I got Xbox. I got this game, but hey, let's team up. All right, cool. And you're battling it out. Not, we can't play together because we can't do the cross-play. This is so anti-consumer. That article is so corporate BS, and people should really point the finger and say, Sony, really? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're full of it, and nobody's doing it. Everybody's so quick to pull the trigger on Xbox. If they were to make a move like that, everybody would be like, look at that. Xbox is so anti-consumer. PlayStation doesn't. It's like,
whatever.
Quiet.
Yeah.
Quiet. There's crickets. It's nothing. And it's like, look, I own them both. I enjoy both of them. I prefer my Xbox, but sometimes you gotta call a spade, and PlayStation really needs to be taken down the peg or two. And like this article, that's bullshit. I'm gonna stop ranting and venting because I can go on for a while about this.
Just saying, I wanted to bring up.
I'm sorry.
No, and I wanted to say was I said this in my video about it the other day actually, that this whole thing has got such a huge sort of possibility to bring these communities together. As you were saying, only make tournaments, make official tournaments, Xbox against PlayStation.
Yes,
against
dude.
Nintendo. You know,
someone should hire you, bro.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but no, I mean, I said this. It's got such a huge possibility of bringing these communities together, and I think Sony, Nintendo, and Xbox need to take advantage of this situation. They won't probably get this again. If they don't do it now, they'll never do it.
They would make a killing off of this. Exactly, man. This would be something that would draw people in.
Exactly.
I mean, think about the tournament possibilities of, you know, seeing all the logos together under one banner. I mean, how monumental would that be for gaming as a whole?
Yeah, it's a huge thing. And if they let it slip and don't take advantage of it, it would be a big shame, because the only people that are going to miss out on this is us, the gamers. They need to nip this in the bud. They need to sort this out.
They definitely do. Well, listen, you know what? Only time is going to tell. But you know, we're going to move on to the next topic, and I'm excited for this one. During the E3 briefing from Microsoft, they showed off a game that I think is going to be as big as Cuphead, and that is, of course, Tunic. I've watched the video several times. I really think that it's going to be the next big Microsoft exclusive, in the same vein as, of course, Cuphead, but Ashen and below. It is a top-down Zelda perspective with an adorable-looking fox, but more specifically, the graphics look to be gorgeous.
Yes.
And I just want to ask the panel and ask the chat. First, are you excited for this game? And secondly, is the game getting the hype that it deserves? Because it is an indie game, but you know, that top-down perspective with those graphics looks to be something that the Microsoft brand could use. I'm going to go to you, E-Rock. Are you excited for Tunic?
Yeah, I saw Tunic, and it looked really, really good. It looked really, really good. I'm excited about it because it's another great exclusive under the Microsoft Xbox banner. It's another great exclusive that'll be coming to me free via Game Pass. So I'm really gassed about that. But I'm excited about it. But my only fear is that don't show it to us. I'm not blaming Microsoft. I'm not throwing shade at them. Don't show it to us and then have it disappear, which is one of my biggest complaints about E3, that we see games and then they disappear. Like last E3 2017, we saw this beautiful pixelated game. It looked like it took place in the Blade Runner universe called The Last Night, and it was nowhere in sight this year. It was nowhere in sight. So I don't want Tunic to just disappear. You know, I want these game companies to adhere to a business model where we're only showing it if it's coming out within the next 12 months, like Crackdown. Crackdown is coming out in February. We have dates. We have a roadmap. Tunic looks great. I'm excited about it. I just don't want it to disappear. Keep giving us a steady stream.
I want to kind of just answer what you're saying. In an interview prior to E3, Phil Spencer himself reiterated the fact that the games that they are showing are going to be coming out anywhere between 12 and 18 months.
Excellent.
So I could see us getting Tunic rather soon. I'm going to go to Micro. You know, no one really gives credit to the indies as much as they should. I mean, Ori is a perfect example of that. You know, there are so many games that are so-called indie and smaller titles that do very well on the Xbox. I think that Tunic has the possibility of being as big as some of the, you know, the Belows and, you know, many of the other, you know, big indie games that have hit the platform. Are you excited to see this game succeed?
Oh, I want it to succeed. I love the indie games. I used to hate them on the Xbox 360. because the Xbox 360, the arcade games are things like Fart Simulator and stuff like that. You know, that was the sort of games you got on that. But the Idea Xbox program, and I have shouted about this program for so long, and all of the guys working on it, the developers, the indie developers, are such nice guys to talk to. There's quite a few of them that I talk to, and I'm going to be getting some of them on the micropod soon as well. I mean, Tunic's just one guy, Andrew Soldice, I think his name is. It's one guy making that.
Yes, yes.
And it's it just looks incredible. And it's something that Xbox has been missing on for some time. If you wanted that sort of game before, you had to go to the Nintendo machines. We've got Sales now, which is an amazing game. So the more games that we get like this, the better. And it just looks so good. I can't wait to play it. I really can't. And I do support the indie developers on the Xbox One because I think they do an amazing job. And I've said for a few years now, and E-Rock have backed me up on this, I feel that all these big AAA developers at the moment are willing to take risks, and that the best games that we're getting for, you know, taking a risk, doing something different is becoming from the Idea Xbox, you know, guys, the indie developers. They're more likely to take a risk and do something a little bit different than the more, you know, the big developers that want to make sure that they make the money, and they're not willing to take the risks. And we are getting that with the Idea Xbox, and I think I can't wait to play it. I really can.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm going to say this. I'm very excited for it simply because I'm a huge Zelda fan, classic Zelda, and seeing that, you know, that top down or that three and three-quarter view with a little adorable fox where you're using shields and a sword, it looks like it's going to be a fantastic game, but more importantly, gorgeous to absolutely look at. Eve, I'm going to go to you. Does this game interest you? You know, something that you'd play?
Absolutely. I'm a huge classic Zelda fan. So seeing this super extra polished, cute fox Zelda type game, I'm all over it. I'm also a really huge supporter of indie games when they're not fart games. And the fact that, yeah, I just learned like one person's working on this.
Yeah, and it looks phenomenal. It really does.
It's extremely impressive, and I do hope it does well. And in that way, there'll be a future of games more similar to this, because there really isn't anything like it.
No, it's true. It's true. We haven't seen anything like this in a while, and to have it come out and be an exclusive for Microsoft, I think that in itself is a big deal, because it's one of the areas that has been a little light. So even, again, I don't need a game to be AAA, and they spent $50 million to make it for me to be one of my top 10 games of whatever year it comes out. And this looks to be having the potential to be on plenty of people's lists. Glitch, I'm going to go to you, brother. Are you interested in Tunic?
Yeah, definitely. Anything Zelda-esque, I'm definitely going to dive around in and support all the indie developers, because, you know, they spend a lot of time putting stuff in there. Like, one guy's developing it. There's a game I'm playing around on the Xbox right now called Nightmare Chronicles, and that was designed by one guy, and that's very much like Resident Evil. So, but yeah,
yes, I played through the first part. That was a great game. I mean, if you like the classic RE games, it's right up people's alley, and it's only $5.
Oh, yeah, and it was designed by one person. Now, of course, you know, it's not like the greatest on some things, but, dude, it was one guy. And you got one person making this, and it's a little, yeah, it's very Zelda-esque, and I'm really looking forward to it. And, yes, I'm going to pick it up, because you got to support the indies. Yeah, you got to. You got to. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Well, I mean, look, you know, a perfect example of supporting the indies is State of Decay, right? That was an arcade game. Right now, it's a AA game, and with the purchase that Microsoft just made of Undead Labs, it's going to be a AAA game. So games can grow from little nothings to big somethings, and I'm very excited for this game. The panel seems very pumped. I'm just, you know, look, anything that's Zelda-esque, just take my money, because I'm a big Zelda fan. I think that. You know, I mean, look, it's where most of us started, right? We all started in the 8-bit era, most of us, and to have this game, and you got to remember, what they only showed a small snippet of what the game is going to be, and it looked stunning. So I can only imagine how it's going to run on the X once it's finally released. But we're gonna get into the last topic of today's show, and I hate ending the show on a bit of a drag, but I'm very excited for what the hell is that? A zombie game coming out for Sony. Oh my God, I didn't write it down.
Days Gone.
Days Gone. Yes. Oh my God, thank you, saved me. I have all my notes in front of me, and I don't have Days Gone written down. It's ridiculous. Okay, now in an article that they put out for PlayStation Lifestyle, Days Gone's escalation system punishes players for excessive ammo use, according to the game director, Jeff Ross. Now, the thing is this. When this game was first shown off many E3s ago, it looked like basically an action-adventure zombie romp in the form of, The Last of Us, right? But open world, as opposed to being, small set, closed story. And based on the delays and based on the article, it appears that this is turning out to be a resource management game very similar to State of Decay 2. And what I find to be absolutely hilarious with this story is the fact that many ponies have been basically shitting on anything State of Decay 2 because it's too resource management for me. And it's looking more and more that Days Gone is going to be, it's going to have action very similar to State of Decay 2, but it's very heavily based on your management of your resources. Is this going to be a punch into the gut for Sony players that have been scoffing at State of Decay 2? Eve, I'm going to go to you first.
Huh.
You stumped her.
Wow.
Well, no, because I'm thinking, I feel kind of bad for Sony players who open their mouths and have shit thrown right back in them. It's getting a little ridiculous. I believe that you guys on Days Gone, they're doing their research and they're looking at a formula that works. And it wasn't just with State of Decay. It was also like 7 Days to Die. And there's been other similar games with the whole resource thing. And it works. People keep going back to it. People keep playing it, and they want that same type of success. It's just, I wish people would shut their mouths a little bit before everything is actually out there. I wish them luck. I'm not playing it because I don't have a PlayStation. But I just say, like you said, ponies are just going to keep eating their words, and it's not just with this. It's going to be a lot more things, just like with the whole crossplay thing.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm excited. I like the zombie genre, if you will, and this game has excited me since the minute I saw it 17 and a half years ago. But when it releases, it's gonna. I'm buying it day one. It's gonna be one of those games on February 22nd that if you don't save up or you don't get gift cards for Christmas, you're gonna be collecting cans to afford all 4 games coming out. Glitch, I'm gonna go to you, brother. If this turns out to be Sony's version of State of Decay 2, what are the Sony fanboys going to be talking about then? That this is probably the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Oh yeah. First off, I'm a sucker for zombie games. I always try them out. And this is one that's I'm really excited for. The whole management thing. It gives you that feel of true survival horror.
Yes.
And
yes.
You got to watch what you're doing. You got to make sure you have everything. And the fact that people are like, oh, State of Decay 2, it's got the management. Oh, that's garbage. Oh, that's BS. And now Days Gone is going to have that. You know what the sad thing is? What's going to happen is when it's dropped, nobody's going to say a thing, and they're going to say it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yes.
And they're going to totally forget that their comments and statements were made before. It's going to be, no, we never said that. We embraced it when we first heard about it. That's such a great thing. It's true survival horror. That's what you need to do. And it's going to be like, You didn't say that like in June of 2018 you were all in the SmackDown on State of Decay 2, but it's not going to exist once that game comes out. The game, I'm looking forward to it. It's a zombie game. I'm definitely ready to pick it up. I am excited for it. I like what they're talking about so far. I'm enjoying it. I like what I see. If you have a PlayStation, definitely pick it up because it's going to be something worthwhile to play. And for the ponies, because there are the PlayStation gamers and then there are the Sony ponies.
Right.
The Sony ponies really should shut up before they go and run their mouths, and then they come and find out this is what it is. So, but
well, listen, again, the game has been delayed for countless amount of times, and I'm not saying that you should discount it because I'm still buying it. I'm very excited for it. I just think that the more we hear about it, and the more that it's being moved in direction of resource management, it just makes me laugh that all of the naysayers of State of Decay 2 are going to be basically eating their own words. E-Rock, I'm going to go to you, brother. If this turns out to be the State of Decay 2 PlayStation style version, what do you think the media and the gaming community is going to say?
Deflect. Narrative change. Moving
so you're saying that Sony is going to invoke the EDF, the Earth Defense Force, is what you're saying.
That's correct. That is. Listen, as Eve put it, we've seen this before. To all you ponies, to all you hoof clickers, to all you four-legged beasts, why do you continuously do this to yourselves? Why do you continually open your mouths? Oh, Sea of Thieves, Sea of Z's, and then Sea of Thieves goes and outsells all expectations that Microsoft even had for it. Oh, State of Decay 2 was nothing but resource management. It's a joke. State of Decay 2 becomes one of the hottest selling properties in May for the Xbox. It's crushing the NPD numbers. People are enjoying it. Why do you Sony ponies continuously waste our time like this? Why do you shamelessly come to our YouTube channels and leave your asinine comments in our comment section? If you would just keep quiet and enjoy your little stupid plastic box and quit running your mouths, things like this would never happen. If this game, DayZ or Days Gone or Walking Simulator or whatever it's called, ends up being a resource management game, can you imagine that egg on your face? But it doesn't matter. They'll find a way to switch the narrative because, boom, it's what they do. I'm not surprised at all by any of this.
Yeah, I mean, I actually am surprised because I thought it was going to be like an action adventure kind of a game. Jump on your bike, kill a bunch of zombies, shoot a horde of zombies, drop a bridge on them. And again, it's everything that I love about the Sony stories and the games that they put out. They have that look to them, that adult theme, story driven. Title that I really like. I buy all Sony's first party games, and I really have high hopes for this. And I don't necessarily mind it being a resource management game, but at the same time, I'm already put 60 hours into State of Decay 2. I don't know if I want to put 60 hours into Days Gone if it's not going to be the action adventure romp that I thought it was going to be. Of course, I'm going to go right to the last, but certainly not least, Micro. Is this going to be a slap in the face and almost like Xbox gamers are going to be laughing to their sides crack open if this winds up being a State of Decay clone?
The sort of resource management games are big things at the moment. They're like the sort of PUBG and Fortnite style games. It's one of those genres that's extremely popular at the moment. The fact that they have run their mouth off and attacked this game, State of Decay 2, and given it so much shit over the last sort of 6 months or so, that's what they do. I mean, it's always what they've done. If it's to do with Xbox, they will. Yeah, they will. And we had the same issue some years back when Rise of the Tomb Raider came out, and it was exclusive for that 12 months or whatever it was, and they were all attacking it and hating on it and saying it was, and then they still went out and bought it when it came out on their system.
Yeah.
But the one thing I do notice with the ponies, at least anyway, is, I mean, they've got the 78 million consoles sold to our 39 million, 40 million on the cusp.
40. Yeah, it's 2-to-1 for sure. There's no doubt about it.
Well, when you look at the difference in the amount of consoles sold, we always seem to buy more games on our system than they do, and I don't understand that. They seem to spend most of their time running off and attacking and talking crap on social media than they do actually buying the games that they keep banging on about being so amazing, and they never support them. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, to be honest.
I mean, how can the sales numbers of State of Decay 2 be more than their biggest title out probably so far this year? I don't get it. I wouldn't put State of Decay 2 as one of our biggest titles of this year.
Right.
You know, and even Sea of Thieves, you know, as fantastic as that game is, it's a niche market game, but it's still sold in the bucket load.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, if they have changed, I don't blame the developer for changing things around a little bit and sort of adapting the game to a market that they know is going to be more popular. Like you, I'm a massive zombie game fan. I love zombies. I love the zombie movies. I love the whole thing. I don't know a great deal about this game because it's on the PlayStation console, and because I haven't, you know, toyed with the PlayStation 4 yet, I don't really pay much attention to what's going on over the fence, if you know what I mean. I pay more attention to what's going on sort of on my side of the, you know, so I pay more attention to what's going on Xbox, a little bit of Nintendo, because I'm still swaying towards the point of getting a Switch as well, but I'm not really interested in what's going on over that side. And you know, I see these little snippets, and like we're talking about it now, as a developer, I don't blame them for changing things and going that direction. But yeah, it does make those guys that have made these comments all over the place, it makes them look bloody stupid, and they do a bloody good job of making themselves look like assholes all year round anyway. So they've just put the icing on the cake this time.
Yeah, well, look, I'm going to say this. I'm buying it. I know that a lot of Sony fans are probably going to buy it, and probably people who support multiple consoles, especially if you're a zombie fan, you're going to buy it. Like I said, I just find it really hilarious that with all the delays of this game, how it's the direction and scope has changed in such a way that now it's like resource management, and it's just funny how the Xbox version of that in the form of State of Decay 2 was really scoffed upon. It's almost going to be like like some sort of a hidden justice, if you will, if it turns out to be like that, because the Sony fans that were hoping for, you know, the next Last of Us in the form of Days Gone is going to get you know, the State of Decay version in it, and if that's the case, it might not sell well, you know, and it might not do well, you know, in regards to the reviewers scoring it. But you know, again, it's one of those things. Time is going to tell. But listen, we are closing in on 2 hours, and I'm going to say this: this is my 12th show since launching it a couple of months ago, and I have to say, without an absolute doubt in my mind, this is one of my favorite shows.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
One of my favorite shows, because, you know, I'm still very new to hosting, and it takes a lot. I'm not saying I'm not having fun with it, but it's a lot of stress. I mean, Glitch, you know, bro, it's getting the guests, it's getting the, you know, not sounding like a boob on the other side of the mic, you know, getting the, you know, making sure that the topics that you have are, you know, that are interested into the chat, because you know what, people are stopping their time and they're spending their 2 hours with us, and you know, I feel responsible to make sure that the content is important enough to speak about, but more importantly than that, that it's enjoyable for whoever's listening. And of course, the panel has been nothing short of amazing, and the chat has been completely on fire. It's been going so fast that if I didn't shout you out, you know, by answering, because I like to answer everyone. It's one of my pet peeves that you know, I want to acknowledge you that you came to the show, because that's a big deal for me that you're taking the time to hang out with us. But we're going to go into the intros, and being a gentleman, of course, I'm going to start with Eve. Listen, I think that you bring a great deal of class and a great deal of knowledge to the Game Dosage podcast, and obviously you're packed with you know, you're in a room full of sausages, so you know, it can be tough for a gaming girl, but you really hold your own. Yeah, like I said, I love what you have to say. Please tell everyone where they could find you.
As far as class goes, you still have to learn more about me. But you as well on Monday nights. I'm on the Game Dosage with the beautiful Glitcher at 9 o'clock. And then you can also find me on Twitter. Denim face. I didn't forget.
Denim face.
You can also follow me on Twitter at Primal Eve, and then you can hang out with me on Xbox also at Primal Eve, but it's 2 words.
Yes, and you know what? I don't have you on my friends list, so I'm gonna have to rectify that today. So thanks again for you know, this is your second show. You did great. I really appreciate you stopping by.
Yes.
Attack the Glitcher. Listen, dude, you had a lot going on in your life. The fact that you took the time, you needed to kind of recharge those batteries, and you stopped by today is a big deal for me. Love what you do on the new format of the show. Tell everyone where they can find you and support you.
Thank you first off for having me on. I needed a break from life, so this was definitely something I needed to do. So thank you for letting me jump on at the last minute. And 2, Boom, you do a hell of a job as a host. You're killing it. So keep going, dude. You're slamming it out the park with that.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
It's very simple to find me. You can find me on Twitter at Attack Glitcher. I run a show on Monday nights at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Primal Eve is on it. It's called the Game Dosage Podcast. It is on my YouTube channel, and the channel is called Attack the Glitcher. So you guys want to stop on by there, sub, check it out, and have a good time with us. You know, that's when it happens. And if anybody has a spare, you know, Nier Automata code for Xbox, Attack Glitcher is my Xbox. You know, but other than that,
Mooching 101. It always works its way into the show. Yes.
I figured I'd give it a shot again one more time. But no, hey, look, man, it was great for being on here. Like I said, y'all, don't take life for granted. Make sure, you know, you're just always aware of what's going on and you're there for each other.
Yes.
Much love and respect for all of you out there. Y'all stay beautiful and sexy. And like how I end my show, keep a tight ass.
Nice. Very nice. E-Rock, listen, dude, this is the second time we're podcasting together in just about a week. Like, I love your energy that you bring. You know, when you talk about gaming, you can tell that it's important to you. And I think that's why your voice is important to the show on the Dragon X. You bring a lot there. I had a blast last week. I had even more fun today. Please tell everyone where they could find you and, more importantly, support your cause.
Hey, listen, man, it's great to be here, Mr. BoomStickXL. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate your energy, man. And to Attacker the Glitch, man, nice meeting you. And I'm praying for you, man. Hope your wife gets better. Hey, listen, man, this is E-Rock X. I'm the Don King of Xbox. I'm the hype man for the Xbox brand. And you can find me on YouTube, man. You can like my channel. You can hate. I prefer you subscribe. I guarantee you that these are the lowest quality videos you'll find on YouTube. Most folks are broadcasting 4K, 1080p. I'm doing 240p or lower. So please, you know, come check out my channel. Eve, it was nice to meet you. I subscribe to your channel. I can listen to you talk all day. If more Marvel fans were like you, I would be less ambivalent about Marvel's takeover of every damn thing. It was glad to meet you. And Micro, man, you know, you're my brother from across the pond. I love you. I had a great time being here, guys, and thank you.
Oh, awesome, dude. Awesome. And last but certainly not least, listen, Micro, first of all, you're fantastic on the Dragon X podcast, but don't sell yourself short. Your channel and your podcast is absolutely amazing. I recently subscribed after meeting you last week. I think that you really put a good show together. I mean, a lot of people don't know this. The show that you just had, maybe a week or two ago, you actually had someone on from Undead Labs. That was an incredible interview. The show was well over 2 hours. I thought it was good from start to finish. I know that you tried to sneak and pry some secret information, but the guy was really tight. He didn't relent on anything, you know, juicy. But it was really, really well done. Listen, tell everyone where they can come in and not only support you, but subscribe to your channel. I think it's worth checking out.
Oh man, thank you very much. And to hear you say things like that about me and the guys in the podcast, it's amazing, to be honest. I have an absolute blast on the podcast. I do the Dragon X with my 2 best mates, E-Rock X and the Welsh Gamer. I absolutely love doing that show. And the micropod, I mean, that basically was me wanting to do a podcast, but I wanted to use, you know, the people that sort of communicated with me on a regular basis on my Project Xbox Facebook group and messaging on my channel. None of those guys ever did YouTube before, apart from Hebot, you know. So none of them had done anything like that before, and I brought them together because they had so many.
Hebot's good people, man. That's a good dude.
Hebot is an amazing guy, and he's so knowledgeable about gaming. Yes. And what, you know, when I brought those guys together, I didn't know if it was going to work or not, but it just works, and we just have this chemistry and this energy. And I mean, well, I've done it today. I get so passionate about what I'm talking about. So half the time I forget what I'm talking about. I forget the words. I get myself in the right muddle. But you know what I do, I just love doing this, and to be able to come on here as well with you guys, Eve and Attack the Glitcher, amazing guys. I will be following your YouTube channels if I don't already. Definitely will be. I don't think I follow Eve. I will be though. I can't thank you guys enough. I can't thank you enough. You've made me so welcome on here. So you can find me on YouTube, Microbox of X. I'm also on Facebook. You can follow us on the group Project Xbox. I'm also on Twitter, Microbox of X again. And you can also add me on Xbox. My gamer tag isn't Microbox of X, so sorry. My gamer tag was too good to me, so I wanted to keep it. But you can follow me on Xbox as Cloned Trooper. That's 2 words. Yes, I am a Star Wars fan, and I loved Episode 8.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's excellent. Good. Perfect way to end the show. Once again, I want to thank my panel for taking the time to hang out. We had an absolute blast from start to finish, and I want to thank again the chat. I'm a big believer in running a chat that is a safe place for people to come and hang out who want to talk gaming. Of course, my moderator is very well known across the world as the UK Dazarus, and I gave him this title this year, Moderator of the Universe. It's because of him that the chat stays a pleasant place to hang. I don't mind so much the cursing. I will not stand for any kind of racial slurs or any kind of that shenanigans. I run a very tight ship when it comes to that, and Daz has my 100% backing. So I got news for you: if you get banned or you get bounced, it's because you did something horrendous. Because he has a sense of humor like nobody else, and if he thinks that it's bad, he has my permission to bounce you.
Yeah, if he thinks something's bad, then you know you done something.
Right. Daz has a sense of humor like nobody else. But once again, everyone enjoy their Friday. Enjoy all of their free games from your PlayStation Plus and your games with gold. And have a blessed weekend. We will see you next week.
Oh, yeah.